Hi guys, welcome to What Stock, where I tell you what stock I'm buying next and why. Today, based on your recommendations, I've been looking at the 5G market and I'm going to tell you the best company to buy to get exposure to it. Before I do, I'm going to give you a quick run through of the market opportunity, who the major players are, and which stock I'm buying and why. If you stick around until the end, I'll tell you a really good buy price to watch out for. Now, before we kick things off, don't forget to hit subscribe and ding that bell so you never miss a What Stock pick. 5G is the next mobile technology standard and is driven by our insatiable appetite to stream more content, faster, and connect everything we own to the internet. As a result, the market is expected to grow at exponential rates, making 5G a great place to park our cash if we want to see it grow very, very quickly. But we got to find the right company to invest in. I looked at a lot of companies before I shot this video, and in some way, shape or form, every single business on planet Earth will either be an innovator or a beneficiary of the 5G technology innovation boom. Having said that, these are the companies I shortlisted as 5G best in breed vendors, and these are the reasons why. But as you know me, I only like to invest in one company at a time. So strap yourself in as you prepare for this week's What Stock pick. Cena are a telecoms networking company based in Maryland. They employ 6,500 staff, 2,500 of which are R&D specialists. They have 2,000 patents, 1,500 customers, operating out of 65 offices in 35 countries. 5G will require heavy investment in networking infrastructure to handle the vast volumes of bandwidth. And with the growing sanctions against companies like Huawei, this opens the door for companies like Cena, and they bloody well know it. In the past 10 years, Cena's share price has gone up on average about 12%. In the past 3 years, that's more than doubled to 26% a year, outpacing major telecoms players T-Mobile, Ericsson, Verizon, AT&T, Nokia. Demand for this stock is seriously ramping up. In the past 10 years, the top line has seen growth of about 13 points each year, outpacing Crown Castle International, Skyworks Solutions, and Nvidia. In the past 5 years, they've grown their bottom line by 28% each year, almost tripling that to 78% in the past year alone. Well, that's insane. This destroys competitors Vuzix, Apple, and Broadcom. In the past 5 years, they've grown their free cash flow, the thing we care most about as investors, by a staggering 42%. More than doubling that in the last year alone by 84%. These guys have more disposable income than most Instagram influencers. In the past 5 years, they've grown their book value, the second thing we care most about as investors, by 65%, which is just mental. These guys have an appetite for acquiring assets that goes unmatched in the industry. These numbers are absolutely insane, and they're getting better. They've grown their top line, bottom line, surplus, and their equity at insane rates. That gets me super excited, and now I want to check out their management team. Last year, Cena saw a return on invested capital and a return on assets of around 14%. And an ROA of just over 8 points. These numbers are growing really quickly, with the exception of the ROA, which I can forgive because over the past 5 years, it's been growing a lot quicker, and it's a far sight better than what it was doing in 2017 at about 0.48%. The management team are doing a really good job of finding investment opportunities that give them a return that I would like to see as an investor. Now, that's a management team I want to invest in. Now, let's take a quick look at the margins. First of all, their gross margin is monstrous and is not typical for a networking infrastructure company, and more than doubles the gross margin of 20% that I want to see, which gives me a really good feeling about these guys. Okay, so the operating margin is okay, and it just inches ahead of the 10% number I'm looking for, but the real success story here lies in those tasty net profit margins. And that net profit margin has come a long way since the 4% days of 2017. These guys are getting super creative with how they drive the manufacturing price down and find new ways to reinvest larger portions of the sale back into the growth of the company. And that's what we like to see as investors. Now, before we look at the really fun stuff, the projected forecast and a good buy price to get this company out, we have to stop and check ourselves and look at that balance sheet. Cena has almost no debt, and in the past 12 months, based on its EBITDA, it's earned more than enough to cover more than 10 times the interest owed on its debt to its creditors. In short, this means they're managing their debt really, really well. They have a hell of a lot of cash. versus the next 12 months of liabilities, almost 3 times the amount I want to see at 1.2%. They're also pretty asset rich, which they can use as collateral to open more lines of credit. So to summarize, the balance sheet looks very, very healthy, and I'm happy to move on and look at the forecast. In the short term, Cena is expected to see mammoth growth this quarter, next quarter, and for the current year. A lot of this can be attributed to the fact that it expands its operations in data center interconnectivity, optical fiber networking, and purpose-built modular DCI. That's just a lot of fancy ways of saying they will continue to connect the computers that keep me and you connected to the internet. And they will continue to do that for the foreseeable future. Which leads me to the all-important topic of price. How much should I pay for Cena? How much should you pay for Cena if you're looking to buy it as well? As of the recording of this video, Cena is trading with a PE of 29.32 and a PEG of, wait for it, 0.91. Honestly, anywhere between $60 and $65 is a massive buy signal for me, as in my opinion, Cena is massively undervalued and the market hasn't really caught up with the significance this company is going to play in laying the infrastructure for the next generation of 5G technology. For this guy, it's a big fat buy. I can't wait to add it to my portfolio and see what it does in the next 5 years. Guys, if you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you have an industry you want me to check out, leave it below. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Catch you in the next one. Happy investing.